Jody Avirgan here. I'm glad you're enjoying 30 for 30 podcast, part of a special collection of sports audio documentaries from ESPN Films. We're finding the best sports stories for you right now. And to do that, we're behind the wheel of the Mini Countryman, the biggest mini yet.
Please proceed to the highlighted route.
To find great sports stories, you have to get out into the world and follow your instincts. That's where the Mini Countryman's all-wheel drive comes in handy. With all four, we can chase down a story in the city, the country, and most places in between. Podcast equipment isn't very bulky, but even if we're hauling a lot of gear, there's plenty of cargo space for all your stuff. And if a few of our producers tag along, no problem. The Mini Countryman comfortably seats 5 adults. The Countryman may be big, but it still drives like a Mini thanks to the twin-power turbo engine. No matter what story you're chasing, the Mini Countryman will help you find it. It's available now, and so are 30 for 30 podcasts. Visit miniusa.com/countryman today.
Don Le Batard.
I was doing shots of vodka in my room, and the earring was in alcohol, but like real alcohol. And it was in a shot glass. But we had shots of vodka all over my desk in my dorm room. And we put the earring in, and then we started doing shots again, and I actually did the shot of alcohol.
Stugats.
I drank that alcohol, man. I spent the night in the emergency room. You know the alcohol that comes in the brown bottle?
Right.
Yeah, my mouth started foaming.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Guest on the Dan Le Batard Show appear via the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Lane Kiffin going to be there in a half hour, 12:30 Eastern. Here's your SportsCenter update. ESPN NFL analyst Herm Edwards has emerged as a serious candidate to become the head coach at Arizona State. The 63-year-old will interview with the school this week. Running back Darren McFadden, who was waived by the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday, announced Tuesday his retirement after 10 seasons. And finally, James Cameron is sick of everyone saying there was plenty of space on that plank for both Rose and Jack, despite Mythbusters saying there was enough room for both, and even Kate Winslet agreeing there was plenty of room. Cameron told Vanity Fair in an interview tied to the film's 20th anniversary, Jack had to go, regardless of his ability to fit on a floating door. Had he lived, the ending of the film would have been meaningless. The film was about death and separation. He had to die. So whether it was that or whether a smokestack fell on him, he was going down. It's called art. Things happen for artistic reasons, not for physics reasons. This isn't the first time Cameron's addressed theories that Jack would have lived had Rose just made some room. In January, he gave a similar answer to the Daily Beast. Look, it's very, very simple. You read page 147 of the script, and it says Jack gets off the board and gives his place to her so she can survive. It's that simple. You can do all the post-analysis you want.
Why is he being such a jerk about this?
Sounds like someone's a little sensitive. He messed up by picking such a big door from the prop department.
God, man. Your movie was wildly successful.
Smaller piece of wood, though. You would agree,
yes,
right? Yeah.
It was a breach of your directing skill.
Yep. No matter what your budget is, take the JCPenney Holiday Challenge and find surprising gifts at even more surprising prices. Save on toys, apparel, and name-brand gifts your family will love. Come into the store or go to jcp.com and get everything on your list for less than you think. Check them out today, JCPenney. For all the latest headlines and information, tune to the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
All right, so we have been sent something by Lorenzo in Washington, and I'm just going to read it here about Mississippi State. Hours before Mississippi State hired Joe Moorhead, a Bulldogs fan posted a message board rumor that belongs in the Hall of Fame of message board rumors. A user, I Miss Platinum Plus, claimed to know Moorhead, that's the name of the user, claimed to know Moorhead was the choice by way of an Uber driver and a stripper at the local Cheetah Lounge in Atlanta. Look, man, the best information in sports is at a local Cheetah Lounge in Atlanta. Anything you want to know.
Yep.
That should be Bristol's headquarters. That should be ESPN's headquarters. Should be
the Cheetah in Atlanta.
The Cheetah Lounge in Atlanta.
Yes, every secret is
everything you want to know.
There. Yes. Every sports secret.
We need to do a channel out of there. We need to do a sport. Like, see if we can build a sports radio and sports content empire out of just... We would have so many Schefters on polls. What's better than Schefters? Schefter's on poles. Doesn't work for you, Chris? No? Because you got him in a suit? You can't really imagine. You can't imagine Adam Schefter. Guillermo, put it on the poll. Can you imagine Adam Schefter in anything other than a suit? I can't.
Oh, I can imagine Schefter.
No.
Really?
I feel like he's
like
always
for me,
dressed like that.
For me, it's hard to imagine Pat Riley in anything other than a suit. Schefter, I could see like in a tennis outfit. I can. No, I absolutely
put it
can.
on the poll.
Yeah.
Who is it harder for you to imagine not in a suit, Pat Riley or Adam Schefter? Why are you guys laughing so uproariously?
According to my sources, this stance will cost you $25, 2 for $40.
According to your sources, what?
The stance will cost you $25, 2 for $40.
Schefter on the poll.
What do you think Schefter sleeps in?
A suit.
I think like a dress shirt and shorts, or like the classic pajama.
Classic blue pajama button
Yeah.
down.
Yeah,
pajamas.
absolutely. Yeah.
The kind that you would see on Daddy in the classic board game Don't Wake Daddy.
With the cap or no?
With the cap.
What a game.
I love playing this game, and anytime you guys want to play it, we will stop whatever we're doing and play What Do You Think ESPN Personality X Sleeps In? Or, Arthur Blank, or whoever it is you want to do. It doesn't really matter.
Do you have Bob Lee in like kind of a big nightie with a little hat?
Yeah. Bob Lee. Well, I thought that was Joe Philbin. I thought Joe Philbin was the guy who definitely comes down the stairs with a candle and a stocking cap.
What does Scott Van Pelt wear to bed?
Nothing at all. And I know. Too low?
Yes, you're not good at it.
It's
man.
touch sensitive, so you need to find the sweet spot. Way
And now
too
it's
heavy.
too heavy.
Yeah, too loud.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, and you're not allowed to award
No, but
them to
Mike did
yourselves.
one. I took one back because Mike did one earlier today for you. He gave you a Hakeem and Hicks laugh, and I'm in charge of everyone else's laugh.
Listen, not that I'm keeping count here, but I am leading the show in laughs this week. I got like 12.
I don't mean to nitpick, but that was probably a better spot for Boeing number 2.
Yes, yeah.
Oh,
Do it
really?
again. Yeah, say the line again and then give it Boeing number 2.
What was the line? Help me with the line again.
It was a.
Chris has
what
to
does
say
Scott
what he
Van
said,
Pelt
yeah.
sleep in?
Oh,
Oh,
what?
wait,
Yes.
Chris has to ask you. Hold
All
on.
right, sorry.
Hold on.
What do you think Scott Van Pelt sleeps in?
Nothing at all. And I know.
Yeah.
All right, I did it right. All
Nailed
right.
it.
Very good. Let's Trog Keller, a very important executive. He's very important. He's sitting in the middle of everything we do. I kicked him out of the studio last time. He still hasn't forgiven me for it because he's a very powerful executive. He wanted to know what we were doing today. And so I feel like the best way to tell him what we were doing is why don't you read the polls at Lebitard Show on Twitter? I feel like it's the best way to sort of
give me a second.
recap what we've been doing for the last 3 hours.
All right, wasn't expecting this. So
I know.
just
I'm
give me a
sorry. He
second.
came in with a jacket, and I mean, like, who wears a jacket in South Florida?
Well, he's the
Honestly,
boss. I mean-
know, but he's faking it. I mean, he doesn't need to be wearing a jacket. He doesn't like.
Did you just accuse our boss of
He'd be
faking
just
it?
as much the boss if he wasn't wearing the jacket. He's not any more the boss because he's wearing a jacket. Anyways, let's read the poll questions for the boss.
Will you give me a second, please?
This will make him uncomfortable. I feel like
There's a lot
I don't know
of them.
what's there. This is what's the funny thing about it. I don't know exactly what's there because the way we do the show, we just sort of go running and we forget what we talked about 3 hours earlier.
All right, ready to go. The Twitter poll is brought to you by Upside.com, giving all business travelers the gift of a better travel experience this holiday season. Check them out today at Upside.com. Has Wisconsin football been 5 330-pound white guys leading the charge for a 3,000-yard black guy since the dawn of time?
Sports.
94% of the audience said yes.
94%.
Yeah.
I mean, that's your traditional sports.
That's
poll right
sports.
there.
That's a sports poll, Trog. I don't want to hear that we don't talk sports around here.
Is the Wisconsin quarterback always the same guy?
That's the truth.
I mean, it is. It doesn't matter who it is, you know?
It is. It's been the same guy for 20 years.
Yeah, we were big on Big Ten football at the start of the show.
89% of the audience said yes, whether it's Brooks Bollinger or Russell Wilson. Same guy.
Or Tolzien or Stave.
All the same guy.
Was Dan happier after Miami lost to Pitt or when Miami beat Notre Dame?
It's not fair, man.
74% of the audience thinks it's perfectly fair, and they think that you were happier when they lost to Pitt.
Pretty overwhelming.
I'm a proud alum, man.
Tiger Woods wears really nice shirts, doesn't he?
That's sports.
Sports.
These are all sports topics.
Yep. 79% of the audience said yes. Do you ever get fajitas to go?
Okay, that's not a sports topic. I can see
You
that's
gotta
where we
skip
open the
Trog.
show. That is where we open the show.
That was my pregame show
I
on
feel
TV.
like you should
Trog.
have skipped that. That's no
Sorry.
good.
73% of the audience said no.
Who gets fajitas to go? Like, it doesn't
I
even
do.
make any sense, but it doesn't
Listen,
make any sense. You're going to get them all. They're going to come home soggy. You're going to get the smoke.
I think when you order fajitas in the restaurant, it is very selfish. I think it ruins the experience for everyone else in the restaurant. The smoke comes out.
That's
It's
the place.
getting on everyone's
That's
clothes.
the place where you're concerned about being selfish.
That's a good point.
Fajitas.
He's super considerate all of a sudden, which is funny.
It's
but,
weird. Over just fajitas, he doesn't want you to get.
But he might be onto something, because anytime someone orders fajitas, you always regret not ordering the fajitas because it smells so great.
And they make a big deal out of it, like it's your birthday. There's multiple people that come to the table. Then you start questioning what you ordered. I'm telling you, man.
Smoke is pouring over onto your table from the fajita.
Again, you smell.
Okay, I mean,
Yes.
to go. Why would you get any of that to go? You get
I just explained it.
Guillermo, put this on the poll, please. Are to go fajitas sad? Like, if you open up a to-go fajita when you get home, is it sad?
Would you trade some of your chicken for more sour cream?
See, that's not sports either. But I thought that was egregious when Stugat said that he would trade it. He wanted.
I'm just
more
saying, if I
sour
had
cream.
to, I prefer to have
You
the
can't
same
trade-
amount
you
of steak,
can't-
chicken,
there's no way
just
the
more
audience,
sour
There's
cream.
no way the audience came back.
78% of the audience said no.
No, you can't
I'd say
trade.
that was a bad
Somebody
take.
died, man.
Right.
A chicken died for you to eat that.
Should someone look into this?
I don't know what that's about.
That was about fast food drive-thrus saying medium or large when small is an option and upcharging you.
It really is a new supersize me.
78% of the audience said yes.
Okay.
Should you be charged 15 cents for a bag after making a purchase?
That also happened to Guillermo recently. I don't know why.
76% of the audience said no. Does Eli Manning look sedated or like the skin on his face is heavy?
That's sports, Trog.
This has never happened before, guys.
No.
It's
No.
never happened.
No.
In the history of the show,
Trog,
it's never
you're out of
happened.
luck.
Yep. Good day to be in town, Trog. 50-50.
Well, how do people say no? What do you mean his face doesn't look sedated or like the skin on his face is heavy?
It's the first time that's ever happened.
What is that?
Was there a lip or chin quiver from Eli Manning? 81% of the audience said yes. Those are the polls today.
All right.
A lot of sports for us.
That's a lot of sports. I don't want to hear any more
The
complaints.
man wants more money.
I haven't talked about race in like 3 months. We're in the middle of the week. It's already been a long couple of days. Go home tonight and relax with a glass of larceny bourbon on the rock.
Do you know the exact day and
Yeah,
time?
it's been a suffering. I'm in withdrawal. Tell them more, Stugat.
In baseball, a smooth swing is the best way to get a hit. In bourbon, a smooth taste is the best way to win over a fan.
I don't think I didn't notice what you were trying to do there with Eli Manning and Geno Smith. You weren't fooling anybody.
I didn't talk about race. I didn't mention anything. Didn't mention race.
Oh, man.
Don Le Batard.
Mike, for some reason, I saw you in the room there working on what I thought was your Andrew Luck. I wasn't sure. I walk into the room, and of course, what they're talking about is who in sports would you call to rescue your life if you were in a threatening situation and feel like you were going to actually be rescued. And so he's working on his Andrew Luck. So let's go ahead and play it out.
Stugats.
Well, it's not something I want to do, but absolutely it'll save your life. I'll rappel down this cave. I'll neutralize the threat. We'll secure the perimeter. Get you back your beautiful wife. Happy wife, happy life. Jack Doyle.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugats on ESPN Radio.
One of the things that I've said before about the way that we measure champions, Stugats, whether it's the college football playoffs or whether it's professional football, that the measurement is imperfect. And I don't believe wins and losses is the best measurement. I believe point differential over a representative sample or run differential is a more accurate measurement. But the Dolphins have decided to go from Matt Moore back to Jay Cutler, and I was looking at point differential. Are you aware that the Dolphins this year are the Browns? That the Browns' point differential is only a touchdown worse than the Dolphins' point
Browns are
differential.
minus 123, Dolphins minus 115.
The Dolphins are worse than anybody in the sport except the Browns, and they're just about the Browns.
Right. I mean, you know me, so it's taken me a while to kind of get in line with that way of thinking where I just look at the record. I'm like, no, the Dolphins are 4-7 and the Browns are 0-11. That no, they're not the same team. But yes, you can easily make the argument that they are the same team. So I've heard some people say the Dolphins are worse than the Browns.
I mean, when I tell you, I think most people are finding what I just said shocking, that the Browns are merely a touchdown worse in point differential for the season than the Dolphins in terms of how they've been outscored by teams.
As a Browns fan, it's hard for me to glean anything from that, considering they've won one game in 2 years, and the Dolphins just in the season have found a way to do that 4 times.
What is your best guess on where Cleveland's win is this season? Because we're going to try and get another parade off the ground to celebrate 0-16. The last one was ruined at what? Was it ruined in the next to last week of the season or the last week of the season?
They're playing the Chargers this week, so you know it's going to be a tight game towards the end. Phillip Rivers is going to have the ball down 4.
That's at L.A., right?
Yeah,
right.
Which will probably be a home game for the Browns anyways. Green Bay looked like a winnable game, but Hundley seemed to have maybe figured something out Sunday night at Pittsburgh.
Well, is Rodgers back then?
No, Rodgers
game?
is back for the Panthers game if Green Bay is still in it.
They have the Ravens at home. I think that's the winnable game for them. And then at Chicago. And then at Steelers.
At Chicago is winnable, too. Trubisky, not good.
There are a lot of bad football teams. The Bears, the Colts. Can I hear that Pagano riff again just because I have rarely giggled as hard on the air as just the meandering nonsense? Because I think, is the Colts point differential worse than the 49ers point differential, Stugat?
Colts are minus 105. The 49ers are minus 97.
So here's the crazy coach of the Indianapolis Colts totally losing his mind. In real time, you will see this is the point. Okay, his mind was okay before he started talking here, and the tipping point on him losing his mind is when he starts speaking here.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here, Dan. He's talking about a movie and Groundhog Day, and then we start invoking nor'easters and hurricanes.
Do we know what the question was?
No, we have no idea. But you start to see, like I said, you start to see him unravel as the.
Well, how often have you seen it? How often have you seen it?
The interviewer, member of the press, was asking him, hey, does this feel like Groundhog Day? All your games are starting to feel the same.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's the question.
Are you saying how often have you seen a guy just melt down right in front of your eyes?
We saw Chuck Pagano in this press conference go insane. We saw him become insane, and I'm rooting for insane Pagano to have a much better record and longer career than boring Pagano.
Did we see it with John Chaney? He got in a fight with John Calipari.
I'm not talking about fights.
Oh no, I felt like I was watching him melt down right there, John Chaney. That was crazy.
I'm not talking about anger. I'm talking about a guy. Look, I'm reporting it now. Schefter needs to report it from the Future Cheetah Lounge in Atlanta, where we will build a strip club sports empire.
2 for 40.
I want to report it right now that Chuck Pagano has gone insane. Okay. And you asked me, what are your sources? What are your proof? And I give you this.
Yeah, that song played, woke up to that this morning. Is that Sonny and Cher? Huh? I got you, babe. I got you, babe. Yeah. Went down, got my coffee, said hello to the gal in the coffee shop, stole the money out of the back of the truck, drove my truck into the tar pit or whatever, off the landfill, jumped off a building, lived through it. Did you see the movie? You ever see the movie?
None of that was in the movie.
What do you guys do? You spend so much time on Twitter, you're not enjoying the better things in life. Bill Murray, come on.
No, I'm not Bill Murray.
I jumped off the roof at my home this morning. It's not going away.
But do you worry, in all seriousness, do you worry that...
No, it's everybody. It's you guys. It's the fans. It's everybody driving up there. It's everybody in the NFL community. Okay? There's a storm in the Atlantic. Hurricane, whatever you want to call it. When's it going to hit landfall? It's coming. Third quarter, middle of the third. It's getting late third. They're up 10. Got to happen sometime. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy right now. It is. And what's got to happen is, being in Miami for 6 years, when them storms start coming off the coast of Africa and then they're coming through the Atlantic and they start coming up, what happens is if you get a nor'easter, right? You get a storm up top. Who's in here had done weather before? Huh? You know some weather people, Calabro. Who was that? Who's the best dude down there doing weather or dudette? Huh? Yeah, so when it comes down, that pressure hits, right, and it pushes the storm where? back out to sea, right? And it goes up the coast, and there's very little damage. Those rings that spins this way, and those bands up top are the most egregious bands. They're far enough out where nobody gets hurt. So when this starts to happen, film your tail off. I love it. You gotta respond, And when that happens, we need a storm to blow in and push that so it doesn't hit land. And we're going to do it. It's going to happen. Believe it or not. Watch.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I believe it or not. No, I don't believe it. I won't watch either. I'm not going to take any of your advice on this because you have put the loon in lunacy. And the only thing that makes me think that he hasn't gone totally off the deep end is that he had enough sense in the middle of that to make sure that the weather dude was also a dudette in 2017. It's the only thing that makes me not incarcerate him or put him in an asylum right now.
Don Le Batard.
Nobody in my life has as many unlikable traits who I still like as Stugatz.
Stugatz.
Would you have taken the pay cut?
No. Pay cuts, please. The hell are you talking to?
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. We're hoping to have Lane Kiffin here in just a minute on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Here's your SportsCenter update. Sam Darnold denied a rumor that he might stay at USC for his junior season if the Cleveland Browns end up with the first pick in the 2018 NFL Draft. I didn't say anything about the Browns, Darnold told reporters about the Trojans after the Trojans practice on Monday. I've never said anything bad about an NFL team. They know I would never say anything. That's cute, Sam. Penn State offensive coordinator Jim Moorhead is going to Mississippi State to fill their head coaching vacancy after Dan Mullen left for Florida.
After it was reported by the Cheetah Lounge in Atlanta.
That is right. And finally, a man in India set a world record in 1986 by spending 72 hours in a cage with 72 of the most venomous snake species in India to prove that snakes don't bite unless provoked. He came out of the cage unharmed without a single bite. That is wild,
I thought you were going to say he died. He died by 72 snake bites.
That's pretty incredible, though.
Yeah. I mean, Ron Miguel has told us several times that snakes are fine, that snakes are not scary. He's told us several times.
You seem like you're poo-pooing this. I mean, 72 hours in a cage with 72 of the most venomous snakes in the world.
I'm poo-pooing it because you are someone who called 911 when there was a frog in your house.
Yeah.
You are afraid of creatures in a way that I'm not.
It was a bullfrog. For all the latest headlines and information, tune in to the SportsCenter on ESPN Radio all throughout the day.
All right, so there's a foul owl on the prowl. The train has arrived here. The Lane train is here. Lane Kiffin with us.
I'm so glad he's arrived here on this radio show and in South Florida.
He's a foul owl on the prowl. He's Lane Kiffin. Do you do that? Do you lead? Lane, thank you for joining us. Do you lead pep rally cheers where you describe yourself as a foul owl on the prowl?
I do not, and I have actually never heard that statement until 5 seconds ago.
Okay,
going to use it moving forward.
Yeah, do you like it?
I don't.
Do you like it?
I don't think so. Owl on the prowl.
It stinks. I'm with you.
Okay, all right. So you don't like it. Do you have something better, or you haven't given this any thought? It's probably not fair to you to even bore you and waste your time with thoughts of how it is that you would sell us on the Owls. But your offense is really good. That's you, right? You're a genius mastermind?
I don't know if I'm a genius. Genius coaches that get called genius means they have really good players. So we have really good players. That's why we score a lot of points.
Well, how the hell did you get them?
A lot of them were here. Last staff did a really good job of recruiting some kids, and we just come in here and try to develop them and put in our system and try to help them get better. And they've had a great year so far.
Can you explain to us what you're doing to Nick Saban on Twitter? Because I'm enjoying the holy hell out of it. You put ripped jeans on him and you photoshopped it.
And promise us to never stop, by the way.
Yeah, please don't stop. He also made fun of how he said that, conference champions should never be in. Like, what are you doing on Twitter? I like what you're doing on Twitter. I don't mean to dissuade you.
Well, first off, you guys think, like, everybody writes that I'm trolling him. What you don't realize, Nick Saban doesn't know what Twitter is. So he's never even been on Twitter. You can't troll somebody that doesn't see it. So I'm really not trolling him.
But it does get to him, Lane. Well, like someone's telling him.
You don't think it's getting to him?
No. I just like to have fun with the fans. I think that this profession, I don't know why, unlike other professions, you're supposed to just be so serious and coach speak and, just be so proper. And people tell me all the time, agents or other people, other athletic directors and presidents, they don't like when you joke around and stuff, and retweet things. And I said, well, I don't work for them, so I don't really care. That's not. I think what I do is gets criticized, and it's actually the right thing versus what other people do that give you coach speak and just say all the right things.
I'm with you.
Yeah,
in fact, yeah.
Standing ovation, Lane. Lane, we've been waiting for you our entire lives, man. Standing ovation.
Yes. Lane, how can you infect your brethren? They're so boring. Like how do we get to a place where, you can infect your brethren so it's not coach speak all the time?
I don't know. I don't get it because the president that I work for is excited because Florida Atlantic's now on the map. We're on college game day specials. Tom Rinaldi's here. Sports Center's here. All these things are here. That's what you want for a program. So if we didn't do all the other stuff, they wouldn't be here. So I'm working for the people that I think you're supposed to, which are your players also, because now they're getting a ton of attention.
Can I go through some of your past with you, because I want to enjoy some things with you now that the statute of limitations is up on some of this stuff, and you're the guy who's willing to tell the truth on things. Can we just talk about everything that, like Crazy Al Davis? Like, I want to talk about some of the stuff. I want to hear the Crazy Al Davis and Nick Saban stories. You must have so many.
It is amazing the parallels between the two. Joe Girardi came to practice the other day, and I was asking about Steinbrenner. And I said, I wonder if those three really are so similar that it's crazy. Having worked for two of them, and obviously Joe's already working for the other. So, very demanding, very controlling, and very hands-on. But it's obviously why all three were extremely successful. Also,
wait a minute, you are saying, are you eating lunch?
There's no doubt he's eating lunch.
What are you eating?
My son just gave me some fruit right here. So I had some pineapple.
Oh, the sign of wealth.
Yeah.
Trying to lose some weight since I'm here in South Florida. I'm not in Alabama anymore.
Right. For Blue Martini, of course, right? You want to look
the
good
Blue
there.
Martini.
Yeah.
Do you?
Lane, when you walk into Blue Martini up in Boca, does everyone know you by name? Are you the norm of Blue Martini?
Well, first off, I'd like to know what Blue Martini is. So I'm not really sure. I'm assuming it's a bar due to the name Blue Martini, but I don't think I've ever been there.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever been there.
What is your Boca hotspot?
I don't really have one. This sounds like coach speak, but this time of year we work so much that I really don't.
All right, never mind. Let's go back to the Saban and Steinbrenner.
You get a chance to go out, like to go over to Club Boca with all the college kids is usually the best spot.
Oh, it must be so fun to be you there.
I mean, who's
right? They love you there.
That part was a joke. I only go there on girls' nights.
Club Boca. I want to hear more. I don't think I've ever heard Saban compared to Steinbrenner. Give me an example of Saban being obsessive compulsive about being a control freak.
Well, that's pretty easy. I mean, you see that all the time. He controls you guys. I mean, he controls the media, up there, when all of a sudden they say something he doesn't like, but that's just how he is. And it's also part of why he's really good.
No, but I want a specific, though, from you, Lane, if you don't mind. Like a specific of something that happened with you where you were reminded, oh, he's in charge, and he felt the need to remind me that he's in charge, and it doesn't seem to quite be your style.
Okay, we had Friday night meetings, which are usually pretty casual. They're at the hotel the night before the game. So you have offensive, defensive meetings. You're in separate rooms, and you have the players, and you just go over some plays and show them a film and, talk about the game the next day. They're in sweats, and I had a hat on. Well, I didn't know, that you weren't supposed to wear a hat in a meeting. I mean, never heard of that. So he wasn't very happy that when I walked out of the meeting, he saw that I was wearing a hat. So he didn't like that. So I didn't get to wear a hat anymore.
So how does that conversation go?
That I can't say, especially because the lady you had on before said, make sure you know this is live, so you can't say anything.
Well, all right, can you bleep it out? Just use bleeps where you would use the word.
Yeah, use bleeps.
It would be rated R.
Well, use bleeps where the curses are.
Use bleeps where the curses are. Don't say any of the curses.
That's you won't understand it because I'd be like nine out of the 10 words.
Well, that's fine. I just want to hear how many curses.
Let's
that's
hear
fine.
it. Let's hear the. I want to hear what the non-bleeped word is. So let's hear bleep, bleep, bleep. Go ahead.
I'm guessing it's hat.
It was just basically that. I can't remember the exact words, but
bleep, bleep,
bleep, bleep.
Hat.
Bleep, 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 hat off, bleep, bleep, bleep,
bleep, bleep, or you won't work here anymore. No?
Close.
Did we lose him?
Lane?
Is he thinking?
They cut the line?
Oh, they definitely cut the line.
Is that what happened? Oh, they didn't like the interview?
Someone had to cut the line there.
Was the line cut? That's never happened like that.
No. Where we're seeing it was a cell phone. It's 2017.
Florida State called.
Dan Le Batard.
Stugatz is disgusting.
Stugatz.
Yep.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio.
All right, we lost Lane Kiffin. Last segment, we have reconnected with him. He rejoins us now on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line.
Turn this up. Do you know what this is? Lane, you're about the age that you would know who this is. Do you know who this is? Lane, you with us?
I'm not really.
Lane, you there?
Yes.
Can you hear the music or not?
I can hear the music, yes.
You know what it is?
Do you know
you can dance if you want to.
Nice, yeah.
So do you know the name of the band?
I do not know the name of the band.
Men Without Hats.
I did not know that.
Okay, we're telling you that just because Nick doesn't want you wearing any of those.
That is good. That's good.
You like that?
I get that.
Hacky,
so Lane Kiffin's with us on ESPN Radio, and I want to continue our conversation.
Sorry we got cut off. That was I had to take a call from Coach Saban. He was listening to us and didn't like it, so I had to get off. My bad.
I thought it was Florida State.
It was actually Tennessee.
I love you,
that
man.
Was great.
I really
Lane, how great would it be if Tennessee took you back? Like, I would love for you to be the head coach at Tennessee right now. Like, that would be great.
I'm only coming if my favorite guy comes with me, your dad, because he's the funniest one on the show that I used to watch.
I mean, he is funny. My father is the funniest one.
Wait, so you're saying that if Poppy comes with you, is the assistant head coach? Is that what he's doing?
Yes. Put him on your staff.
He has to be recruiting coordinator, so we can get all the good players in South Florida to come with us.
Yeah. What is your best Al Davis story? If we go back in time to the Oakland Raiders, you came on the scene very early in life. How old were you? 31. You were McDermott's age, right?
I was 31.
McVeigh.
That's a fine.
Oh, bleep it. McVeigh, my bad. I did the same thing yesterday. So what happened? What do you know now that you didn't know when you were working for Al Davis? What do you know? How are you smarter?
Oh, a million things. I mean, when you're 31, especially coming from USC where we'd won all those games and championships, you think you know everything, and really now at you get this age, you really realize you hardly knew anything. So there's a million things.
Did you have an opinion from where you were on everything that just happened at Tennessee with Greg Schiano?
Yeah, I kind of got told about it late. I really wasn't following it by the minute, so I kind of got the back end after all of it was out. So, so I don't really know the details of it or anything. It just wasn't it just wasn't good for Tennessee, obviously, and obviously, for Greg too, because I'm sure he went from being real excited, obviously, going there, getting a shot to be head coach again to all of a sudden, gone all of a sudden, based off of what it sounds like public reaction.
Should he be the head coach at Tennessee?
Oh, I'm no expert in that. I don't have any. I didn't even read the articles to know what exactly it was or what was the Penn State stuff. So I can't comment on that.
Can you give us the details that you specifically remember about your last night in Tennessee?
Things burning. I remember that. I remember. I remember a really big Fletcher Jones Mercedes private jet on a runway, and a cop car taking us to it and getting on. And next thing I knew, I was landing in Los Angeles, California, and have not with my kids and wife. And we never went back to the house or anything like that. Never went back except for the 2 times when I ended up at Alabama, where we went back there to play road games at Knoxville Stadium to beat them really badly.
That last part. All right, Lane, you got to come on with us more often. So let's. What about this time in your life? I was
trying to score 1 point for everything they burned.
A mattress. What else do you remember burning? I remember a mattress burning. What else was burning on the campus? Those people are loons, Lane. Let's just say it. They're loons.
They're what?
Loons. They're crazy. They're Paganos.
No, it's not. I actually took it as a positive. I know it's going to sound crazy. If you leave somewhere and they're having a party, like when coaches leave sometimes, the fans are having a party, they're excited, they're celebrating, that means you did a bad job. That means they're glad you're gone. If they're burning things and they're upset and they hate you and they're painting rocks and calling your wife names and all those things, if they're doing that, that means that they actually loved you because you were doing a good job. And, we had beaten Georgia and South Carolina and took Alabama down to the wire. So I took it as a positive that they were excited about what was going on. It's like a girl and a guy when they break up. If the girl really doesn't like the guy, she's not really mad. She's like, okay, she's going on a date later that night. If they're mad, then they're, not eating, they're crying, they're all upset, they can't get in, So that's the way that I took it.
That's an interesting attitude. What does this sound here?
I
want to take you back to a different time. This sound right here, what does it remind you of?
Mortensen.
Do you recognize that sound?
I believe that was Al Davis.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
does that feel haunting from the beyond when we do that?
Mortensen.
Why is he saying Mortensen? For Chris Mortensen?
Yeah, he was
remember he
ripping
did the whole
Mortensen.
thing,
He was
right?
mad. He did that film projector thing. He had fascia. What is that called?
when he
Library.
said- Oh, yeah, we got projector. I didn't even know they still had projectors. Like, where do you find a projector nowadays?
That was the last
overhead
one. Al
projector.
used it. Yeah.
That was the last one.
You have 90 seconds to give us the best of what you got. We're going to let you talk for 90 seconds. I'm going to thank you right now for being on the show. You just give us as much as you've got on what you remember from that time and the film projector. Mortensen.
You're just bad memories. I remember, I think he called me Lance instead of Lane. I think he said that. Lance Kiffin. I think he said, he's a liar.
He did. He kept saying
Like
over
a
and
liar. He's like, first off, did he say liar or liar? I couldn't figure out which it was.
He did. He called you a liar so many times.
Liar.
What was that to go through? What was that to go through?
It actually was tough at the time. Obviously, you're young. It's national TV, and this is all going on there, and you can't. I wanted to go back and defend myself and say things afterwards, but I didn't. So, and I'm glad I didn't. So, it is what it is. I've been called worse than liar.
All right, we were happy to have you on. So, thank you.
You got it. Now we're going back to our game plan so we can win this game because you guys forgot to keep talking.
Yeah, we
about
forgot to ask you about
We have
that.
a conference championship game noon here in Boca. Please come. You guys come. Come to the hashtag the FAU.
We should
Sideline
go.
passes.
We
Come
should
on.
go. We should go, Stugotz.
Well, I'll be there, Lance.
Thanks, Lance.